Then when I was in a village, a town outside of Tashkent, they closed the Kazakhstan border, and because of the coronavirus, and I didn't get back in time. So I'm stuck in Tashkent probably for a few months. Let's see how it goes. So it's a funny name. I mean, I am British. Usually when I tell people in Kazakhstan I'm British and my name's Amin, they're like, that's not an English name. Well, yeah, it's not an English name, but Britain is full of people who come from many, many different countries. And my father is from India, Pakistan. My mother is English. And he moved to England maybe about 60 years ago, in the 50s, to work. And he became a British citizen, and he's lived there ever since. So that's my history. That's okay. Let's move on. Oh, I live in the most beautiful city in Central Asia, which is, of course, as you all know, Almaty. Yeah, I love Almaty. I love Almaty for different reasons, but one of the main reasons is this. So, Almaty has amazing mountains in summer and winter. A lot of you here will know Almaty Mountains in winter for Shimbolak and Medeo, for skiing, for ice skating. Yep, Shimbolak. But this is not Shimbolak. This is, my brain has gone. This is a mountain further than Shimbolak. Maybe some of you know it. And I like, yeah, it's actually good, very good. It's very near to Minjoki, very good. Minjoki is that little lake, yeah, on the other side of the mountain if you go around it. So this was actually a race. I like running in the mountains, and I like hiking. I don't really like rock climbing. I don't like climbing so much, but I like trekking, hiking, and trail running in the mountains. And this was a race where we had to race to the top of the mountain in January. So Almaty is fantastic for trail running. The organization is world class, and I'm very happy to be part of that. Okay, so let's continue. Let's look at reading today. But the main thing to remember when you're studying IELTS, maybe a lesson is about reading, maybe a lesson is about listening, but you will still learn speaking skills from this lesson. You will still learn writing skills. So view this as an opportunity to improve your IELTS knowledge generally. So the first question is, what is IELTS reading? Does anybody know anything about IELTS reading? I'm not going to spend much time on this, just a few seconds, because I think most of you do know. Tell me anything you know about IELTS reading. You have like 10 seconds to write something. 3 texts, 60 minutes. 4 texts and questions. Very confusing. I love it. I love it. 2 NG, true, not given, or true, false, not given. First of all, we must read. Okay, good. Test of our reading skills. Okay, good. So let's just stop there. I'm not going to spend much time with this, just literally 1 minute, because we have more important things to do. And I think most of you know the answer to this. Most of you here, because you're young, you're not going to take IELTS to emigrate. You're going to take IELTS to study in university. And for academic IELTS, there are 3 texts, 4 for general, but you will do 3 texts. And you have 60 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. Although probably you will spend 15 minutes on the first one and longer on the second and longer on the third, because they become more difficult. 1 is easier than 2, and 2 is easier than reading text 3. And there are different types of questions. So that's what we're going to do today. And I see some nice words here. I see scanning and skimming and yep. What is yep? Okay, so let's actually look at some of those skills that will help you in reading, and especially reading for IELTS. A little question. What's the most difficult part of IELTS? There are 4 sections: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. When people ask this question, usually the answer is, oh, writing, yep, writing, reading, sometimes even speaking. More writing. Well, some years ago, when they asked some people, a lot of people, this question, who had taken IELTS, they said reading. So before IELTS, they all said writing is terrible, I can't write. After IELTS exams, they said reading. Well, maybe the reason for that is IELTS reading is not reading, it is IELTS reading. So you're testing your ability not to read in English, you're testing your ability to do an IELTS reading test. It's very specific. That's what we want to help you with today and tomorrow. So there we go. Most people said reading. Right. Reading skills. There are different ways of reading. So again, 5 seconds. What are those different ways of reading? This is a fundamental for IELTS. This is not about the questions. This is about how you read generally, or how you read an IELTS task. What are the skills, the different ways of reading? Yep, good. Very good. We have some experts here. So, skimming, scanning. Okay, we've got keywords. Right, just before we continue, this is not a science. I might say something today, and you will say, but there are 4 ways or 5 ways. Yes, but it depends how you look at things. But today, we're going to look just at 3. We're going to call the different ways of writing these 3 things. So first you have skimming, then you have scanning, and the last one, I call it this, reading in detail. So in life, anything that is written involves one of these 3 skills: skimming or scanning or reading in detail. Now, maybe you know this, but I want to look at this again because it's a fundamental, and the better you understand this, the easier it is to improve your technique in reading. And just one thing, maybe tomorrow we will talk about this. All of these skills, skimming, scanning, and reading in detail, you need practice outside of IELTS. If you don't practice these skills outside of the IELTS test, outside of IELTS books, you probably won't get a 7 or an 8 or even a 6. So first, skimming. Now, many of you know what skimming it is, but just to make it more understandable, this is how skimming is used in everyday life, not just for reading. So if you look at the, I'm pointing, yeah, you can't see my finger on the screen, but the 3 bottles here. Now, when I was young, many years ago, in England, we used to get milk delivered to our house. The milkman in his little van would deliver milk, and the milk had different bottles tops. You had a silver, a red top, and a golden top. I think the silver top just meant normal milk. The red top meant that it was semi-skinned. It meant that there was some cream but not so much, just a little bit. And as you can see here, the gold top, if you look very carefully here, you can see a different color. This meant there was cream in this milk. This was a full milk, a full cream milk. And I used to live with a family when I was studying in college, and the young boy there, he would only drink the golden top milk, the full cream milk, with his breakfast. So every day, as soon as the milk came, he would run to the door and take the golden milk, take the top off, and he would, with a spoon, take all the cream. He skimmed the cream from the milk like this with a spoon and put it on his cornflakes, on his kasha, on his cereal. And that's what the word skimming means. It's this kind of quick action to take the top of something. If you look here at this picture, this is what we call skimming. When we throw stones and they hit just the surface of the water. Dum, 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 dum. That's why it's called skimming, because the stones just touch the surface. And that's what the reading is. Reading is when you just touch the surface of a text like that, quickly, and just the top. Let me give you an example in real life of what skim reading is. Skim reading, or reading for gist, it's a synonym, is reading something very quickly, just skimming the top, because you want to see, is it interesting? Should I read this in more detail? This is what people in England, when I was younger, used to do with newspapers. In England, we used to have very big newspapers and smaller newspapers. The big newspapers were called heavies because they were heavy and they were more serious. The small newspapers were full of gossip, and they were called the tabloids. Tabloids, remember these words. And if you had a heavy like this, you know, you at home or on the metro going to work, you'd be reading it like this because it was so big. Now, there are so many stories in a newspaper that to decide whether to read it or not, a story, you just quickly skimmed one story like for 20 seconds and saw who, what, when, is it interesting? If it's interesting, then you would read it in more detail. But first you would skim a story, skim another story, skim another story. So that's a skill that you might use in IELTS. I say might because I don't think it's the most important skill in an IELTS reading test. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So here, if you look, you can see a heavy newspaper, a serious newspaper. And here you have a tabloid that's full of gossip. Scanning. When do we scan in real life? Imagine this situation. Some of you live in Astana. Okay, I hope the sound is okay. Somebody's saying the sound is a problem. I hope you can hear me. If anybody else has a problem, please write. So, Astana, you want to rent an apartment. You're going to live in with your friends maybe and study in university. So you want a 3-room apartment. The maximum you can spend is $650. How do you find this information? You go to a newspaper or a website like Krisha. Okay, now, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of apartments in Krisha or in newspapers that advertise apartments. Okay, I just lost my video. 1 second. Yep, there we go. So, what would you do? Would you read about all the apartments in Astana? Maybe 7,000, 15,000 to make a choice? No. you know that you want a 3-room apartment for maximum $650 near to Buy to Let. So you do a search, you scan this site. And what you do is you go to the page, or you put the information in first. You go to the page that has location, Buy to Let, that has, then you type in 3-room apartment, and then you type in, you know, $500 to $650. And when you do that, you get something like this. So basically, to get here, you have scanned, you just had some ideas, $350, $650, 3 rooms, Astana, Buy to Let. And you use this information to find the page that you wanted. So you could find that very quickly with that information. Now you have all this information. You have about 15 apartments next to Buy to Let that cost $500, $600, $650. Now what you do is you read each one. So you have this here, yeah, in Russian it's like this plastikové okna, and so you have all this information and you read it slowly because you want to find an apartment which is good for you, that has good technical stuff, that has nice furniture, has a nice view. So you read this information very carefully. So this is what we do in IELTS. First, a question requires you to find the information very quickly in the text. And you have a little bit of information like $650, apartments near Buy to Let, 3 rooms, which you use to look very quickly. You find the paragraph that has that information in. When you find that paragraph, to find the answer that you want to a particular question, then you read carefully and slowly. So the first skill was scanning, and the second skill was reading in detail. Now we're going to look at some IELTS questions which do this. Before we do that, today and tomorrow, there are some other skills which are important in reading. So we've already looked at skimming, or reading for gist, scanning, and reading in detail. Other skills which are important for an IELTS exam are predicting, paraphrasing, not panicking. Okay, I wanted 3 P's. Oh, sorry. Let me get the video back. Yep, not panicking, visualizing, and time management. Now you might think time management, it's not so important. Believe me, time management is one of the most important skills in reading, in listening, and in writing. Speaking a little bit, but definitely in reading and listening. So we'll look at those today and tomorrow. Now we mentioned skimming a few minutes ago. I think it might be important, but not as important as scanning and reading in detail. Let's see in 2 or 3 minutes why. Now let's first look at a paper. Now this paper is, it's from a book I found about IELTS. So it's not it's based on IELTS. It's not a real IELTS paper, but it's very similar. And the title of the text is Light Pollution is a Threat to Wildlife, Safety, and the Starry Skies. Now, I know what you do, because I do the same. Remember that word we just looked at, panic? We panic. We think 60 minutes, 3 texts, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. We want to just read the text. We want to read the text quickly. And we want to hello. Sorry. Yeah, we want to read the text quickly and do questions quickly. We think that we are saving time by doing this. Two things. Time management is bad. You're going to lose marks, not gain marks, by trying to do this, reading immediately. And you are panicking. You're going to lose your focus. So stop. Don't look at the questions. Don't even look at the text. Look at the heading. This is all connected with predicting before you do anything. Light pollution is a threat to wildlife, safety, and the starry skies. Before you do anything, always look at the heading title and ask yourself, what's this text about? What is it going to be about? You think for a few seconds, 5, 7 seconds, what it means. And what's that word we just used? One of the skills. Visualize. You try and visualize what this means. You think about what this means. Light pollution is a threat to wildlife, safety, and the starry skies. And this is what you might get when you visualize. Before we go on, can you write what you see in this picture? Some very good comments, by the way. Thinking about what we just said, somebody wrote, "We will search only what we want." This is what scan is, searching for what you want. Nice comment. Light pollution. So we all know what pollution is. Pollution is when you take your plastic bag, your plastic bottle, and you throw it on the ground, or you put it in a bin, or you throw it in the sea, and you pollute the environment, or your car pollutes the city, like Almaty. And so this is a pollution which affects our health and the environment. But light pollution is different. Very nice comment here. Night city in pollution. Nice phrase. So because of light pollution, because there are so many lights from the buildings and from other things, what happens? The sky is polluted. It means that, one second. There we go. We don't see these stars. If you want to see these stars, you need to go to Shimbolak or higher, or maybe just outside in the steppe, outside of Astana or Zhezkazgan or wherever you live. But you can't see all these stars in the city because of the lights. That's what light pollution is. Another idea of light pollution and safety might be this. When a person doesn't dip their lights, dip means to go down, dip, they do this, the light can shine in your eyes and you can't see. Or it could even happen to an animal like this. So light pollution could be a threat to people's safety, to the starry skies, and even to wildlife. Now, we just spoke for 2 minutes, maybe more. Of course, your brain works much faster than this. And in an IELTS test, you would look at the title and you would do all this, what I've just done, in about 12 seconds. Yeah, just think. Light pollution is a threat. What does that mean? You're preparing your brain for the information. You're predicting, which is a very useful skill to have before you write. Let's look at more detail at that. Right. So this is about the size. You can't read it. It's too small here. This is about the size of one IELTS task. Now, if you have 20 minutes to do this task, you can't read this. If you try and read this, you might enjoy it. You might get some nice information from this, but you won't have time to answer the questions properly. So you don't read it. But now this is a little but. You might do a skim. Remember skim? Over the top, the surface. A skim read first. You might. This is your choice. What I want you to do before your IELTS test, today, tomorrow, whenever you have time, is to practice a few times skim reading and see if it works for you. So you give yourself a time and you keep this time. So let's say you gave yourself 1 minute. before you do anything. Yeah, so 1 minute from your IELTS 20 minutes to skim read this. So everybody has a different way of skim reading. Some people pick out the verbs, the nouns, the verbs and nouns, they read diagonally, and they are able to take in this information and understand some facts, some ideas. Other people read a full sentence at the top of a paragraph, full sentence at the bottom. Top, bottom, for all the paragraphs. Whatever you do, experiment and see if it works for you. This is just preparing you, giving you an idea where things are in the test, but it doesn't work for everybody. So you have to experiment and see if it works for you. So as a little experiment now, I'm going to give you just a few of these paragraphs, which are easier to read. I'll give you 1 minute to skim read, and then just put anything in the chat box, anything that you understood. 1 minute. Okay, that's about a minute, I think, yeah? So somebody wrote dazzling the skies and animals, Milky Way, bad sides and good sides of light pollution, maybe. So you see there was something bad, something good, maybe it's light pollution, maybe it's something else that's good. Prevent criminal. Use more lights, causes air pollution, good. Desert, something about the desert, prevent crime. Now, it's interesting, it only took you a few seconds to do this. Now, maybe you didn't understand so much, but you already know that one paragraph is about crime. One paragraph is about animals. One paragraph is about artificial light that's harmful. And something is about brighter lights, disasters. So when you have a question, you already know maybe where this information is. So it's worth practicing skim reading to see if it works for you, just that 1 minute. Now, whatever you do, don't spend more than the time that you decided. So you have your watch, time management. You say 1 minute, you look, you do your skim read, you stop as soon as that 1 minute is up, maybe 50 seconds. It's your choice. So that's skim reading. It's not the most important skill in IELTS. So let's look now at the first type of reading task that you will always get in an IELTS paper. This is called paragraph matching, a paragraph matching task. Now, in my experience, when you have a paragraph matching task, it very often comes at the beginning of the paper. Okay, I'll tell you in a minute why that might be. So it comes at the beginning of the task. Incidentally, I was asked by Altin to prepare a little quiz at the end, and I believe that the person with the highest marks in this quiz will get a 5,000 tenge. So stick here until the end and see if you can win yourself 5,000 tenge. Wow, I'm so jealous. So paragraph matching, what is it? Right, this is what you would see in paragraph matching task. Something like this, a list of headings or a list of paragraph headings. So titles for paragraphs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different headings. But if you look at the number of paragraphs to match with, you have just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you have 6 paragraphs and 9 headings, it means that you will only use 6 of these. You don't need all of them. Right, which skills do you think you would use in this task? 10 seconds. Which skills that we mentioned? Skimming, I don't think so personally. It's my opinion. But it's possible. Actually, it is possible. I'll tell you in a moment why. Scanning, I think definitely not. I don't think so. But you might have a different methodology. So reading in detail, yes. I think reading in detail. Paraphrasing, yes. Predicting, yes. Good, very good. Predicting and paraphrasing before you read. Reading in detail when you read. Now, again, remember the magic word, don't panic. People who panic will look at this, blah, 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 discourage elaboration, bright lights, illuminate space, a problem, seeing from above, more light than sun. They'll read like this, and then they will go to the text and start reading and panicking. Visualizing, okay, good, excellent. Visualizing is part of predicting and paraphrasing. Those 3 things are actually all together: predicting, paraphrasing, and visualizing. Very good. So don't panic. Do not start reading until you have predicted, paraphrased, and visualized. So how do we do that? Well, let's have a look at these headings. So what you need is, one second, I'm just trying to remove, I have your, what you need to do is rephrase or paraphrase each of these in your head. Now we're going to spend maybe 2 minutes doing this. You would spend maybe 30 seconds in a test doing this. So let's imagine why lights are needed. How would you rephrase this? Quickly, write something. And I've lost the chat room. You are very good at this, by the way. Far too fast for me. Purpose of lights, good. Importance of light, importance, good. Necessity of light, why lights are important. I like it. Now, by doing this, what you wrote is very similar, but you're teaching your brain to start thinking about what this actually means. You're visualizing it by rephrasing. What about the next one? Sorry, your chat box is in the way and I'm trying to move it. Sorry about this. Where are we? Okay, there we go. So, discourages lawbreakers. Something discourages, lighting discourages lawbreakers. 2, lighting discourages lawbreakers. What's a synonym for lawbreaker? Light against crime, good. This is good. Yeah, thieves, crime, good. So the main thing is, it's light, discourage. What does discourage mean? This is a very useful word. You'll see this a lot in IELTS. It's the opposite of bandits. I don't think you'll see bandits there, but it's a nice word. What is discourage? Lose motivation. Yeah, discourage is the opposite of encourage. Good. So you encourage somebody to do something. Your parents say you must study medicine at university. They're trying to encourage you to study medicine. But if your parents say, "Oh, don't become an accountant. It's so boring. It's so dull. It's not interesting," your parents are discouraging you. They're trying to stop you from going to study accounting in university. So lighting stops criminals. environmental dangers, okay, the threats, dangers, threats to the environment, to the ecology, to animals, to the air. People at risk from bright lights, okay, forget that. What is it? Illuminating space. Can you rephrase that? Drawbacks to environment, nature is in danger, good. What about illuminating space? Yeah, interesting. In light and open space, no stars, confusing space, brighten space. Everybody's using the word space. What about a synonym for space? Cosmos. Good. So space, of course, just means space, yeah? Like how much space do you have in your car? My friend wants to come, you know how much space. But space also means cosmos. It means the sky. It means the moon, the galaxy, the Milky Way. This is also space, the sky. So to light the sky. Illuminate means to light. Sorry, let me just start the video again. Seen from above. Think about the meaning of seen from above. Give me an example. If you're standing, yep, maybe if you're in a spaceship, you can see the Earth from above. Maybe if you're in a tall building like Bayterek, if you're in Bayterek, you can see all of the left bank in Astana. So Astana seen from above. So that may be what this means. So you're visualizing what it might mean, not just the words, rephrasing, but thinking about it. More light than is necessary. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? More light than is necessary. Good or bad? Yeah, because than is necessary. Too much, excessive, nice word, good. So when you see a phrase like is necessary, something in your head should say negative. Now, a little tip for you for this type of question and for other types of questions. Make a note of this. Sometimes it's in different types of questions, you can look at the potential answers, the context of the phrase, and you can say positive, negative, positive, negative. For example, lights are needed, maybe positive, maybe negative. 2, lighting discourages lawbreakers, positive. The environmental dangers, negative. Because when you understand if something is positive or negative, then you can see the paragraph. You see, this paragraph is positive. I don't need this paragraph. This paragraph is negative. So another way of predicting something is to say, is it positive or is it negative? Approaching the city, okay, number 9. Getting close to the city. Now let's do an example and see how this works. So you've done your prediction, you've done your rephrasing or paraphrasing, and you've done your visualizing. And this took you maybe 30 seconds. We spent 7 or 8 minutes, but in real life, this will take you 30 seconds. Maybe you even write some notes on your question paper, because that's okay in IELTS to write on your question paper. So have you noticed here, the first question is done for you. Now that's useful because by looking at this first paragraph, you can understand why the answer was approaching the city. So the next thing you're going to do is not to scan, but to read in detail. Now, some of you who are very good at English, have good skills, and might skim the paragraph to find the answer. Okay, so this is either reading in detail or skimming. I would say reading in detail is a better description. So you go to paragraph A, there's no need to scan, you go straight to paragraph A, and you see this, yeah? This is paragraph A. And the answer was done for you already. The answer was approaching the city. What I would like you to do is look at this paragraph, find the words that indicate why this is approaching the city. Now, just 1 or 2 things here. You can see this might help you, yeah? These pictures. Okay. So, yeah, just one thing, the Big Dipper is here. Can you see this picture? This is a constellation in the sky, and this part in the northern hemisphere is the Big Dipper. So, approaching the city, Las Vegas, the city, good. Navigate, I'm not sure about navigate. Big Dipper, maybe, yeah, there's a reason for Big Dipper. Las Vegas, Las Vegas, Las Vegas suddenly appears on the horizon. Good. Right. Thank you. So let's have a look. After hours of driving south, so imagine a situation. You are driving on a road like this for hours and hours and hours. And suddenly, what happens? Suddenly you see this on the horizon, the city. And as you get closer, you see the lights from the city. And that's what it says here. It says, after hours of driving in the dark, a dome of hazy gold, can you see gold here, suddenly appears on the horizon. And a road sign says, Las Vegas, only 30 miles. Now, you've been driving for hours, maybe hundreds and hundreds of miles. Now you're only 30 miles from Las Vegas. And you can see the horizon, you can see the lights. And the Big Dipper in the sky is becoming more difficult to see. Why? Because the Big Dipper is stars. And when you have lights from a city, stars are difficult or harder to see. So the answer is approaching or getting close to the city. So you have hazy gold on the horizon, Las Vegas, 30 miles, Big Dipper, difficult to see. That's it. That's how you do that kind an IELTS paragraph matching. Now that's quite a simple example. Let's look at the next paragraphs and see how we do with these. So there we go. Right. Now you have paragraph B and paragraph C. Now just stop. Don't read. Don't panic. Don't rush. Just listen to what I say. Be organized. So if you are 100% sure that 9, which we knew actually because it was given as an answer. If you are 100% sure that 9 is correct, then cross it out. Then it's easier to see these. Right, I would like you to look at B, not C, just B, read it slowly, try and understand the meaning and pick out the phrases that give you the answer. I'll give you 1 minute to do this, 1 minute. So which of these headings is it? Okay, so let's have a look. What answer did you get for this one? B. So we had 5, we had 8, we had 8, we had 5, 5, 8, 7. So there seems to be some different answers, yeah? We seem to be getting a 5, a 7, and an 8. Now, the three words that you have in 5, 7, and 8 that are the same are light, yeah? You have illuminating or light. In 7, you have light. And in 8, you have light. Okay. So maybe that's the reason, or maybe the reason is in 5, you talk about space or cosmos, which is up there. And in 7, you also talk about up there. So you're seeing the words up there and light, and you're using the words to get the answer. But you need more than words, you need the meaning. That's one of the reasons why we rephrased, we paraphrased it, we changed the wording to help us get the meaning in our head, not just the words. So let's have a look. Light pollution. The artificial light that illuminates more than its intended target has become a problem of increasing concern. Now, is this a negative or a positive thing? Negative or positive? It's negative, yeah? Good. Because it says more light than is needed. And in the suburbs, it says there are shopping malls, but only a few stars are visible because of all the light. It says in big and small towns, streetlights beam illuminate more than just the street. If it's more than just the street, it's more light than is needed. The lights are for the street, but it says they illuminate more than the street. And then we have that many of the street lamps miss their target. And it says that shopping centers, private homes, and skyscrapers are similarly over illuminated. So look at this idea. More light than is needed, over illuminated, too much light. It misses its intended target. So the answer is more light than is necessary. You can see this idea of more light than is needed in 3 different places here. So don't just look for the word light or illuminate. So some of you saw this word illuminate in the paragraph, and you thought, illuminate, list of headings, illuminate in the paragraph, answer illuminate. Wrong. Same word, but doesn't fit the text, the context. A problem with lights seen from above. There wasn't really this idea of seeing something from above. The idea was we can not see the Milky Way above us. So again, you are seeing this Milky Way, you think, yeah, that's above us, but it doesn't say that. It says we here cannot see the Milky Way above us because of too much light. So you've got to get away from words and look for ideas. You saw too much light, too much light, too much light in 3 different parts of the paragraph. That was the answer. Now, unfortunately, we have to move on because of time. Actually, let's try this one quickly. I'm going to spend less time on this. I'll give you 50 seconds to try C now. So cross out 8 and try C, okay? 50 seconds. Okay, we're getting a lot of different answers here for C. So it's good, I like it. So somebody's saying it's negative, that's good. So you're trying to understand, oh no, that was for something else, sorry, my mistake. So a lot of you are saying 7, and that is the answer. So just quickly, why is it 7? So 7 is seen from above. What are the key words here? Keywords. Satellite. A satellite is above us. A satellite sees us from above. An airplane. In an airplane, you see cities from above, and so on. Okay. So remember the key skills here. Don't panic. Spend 30 seconds, 40 seconds, maybe longer, maybe less, rephrasing the list of headings before you read one word. Predict what you think, what you're going to see. And then visualize this. So the idea is to put ideas into your head instead of words. And then you start reading in detail, paragraph A, paragraph B, paragraph C. If you find a paragraph difficult, forget it. Time management. If B is difficult, move to C. Do C, do D, do E, then go back to B. Cross out a few. So use your organizational skills and give yourself a time. Say, for example, I'm going to have 7 minutes for these 7 questions. Okay, maybe 8 minutes. This is what you've got to develop yourself before you do IELTS. An idea of how much time you can have for 7 or 8 questions. All right, let's move on to another type of IELTS question. Gap fill questions. Gap, what's a gap? Gap is a space, and you put something in the space, you fill the gap. So let's have a look at some of those. This is the same text about the light pollution, and this is what a gap fill looks like. The question is, or the instructions are, complete each of the following statements, questions 6 to 9, with words taken from reading passage 2. That's the reading passage that we just read. Write 1 or 2 words for each answer. This is very important. When you read, when you see this kind of question where you fill in some gaps, look at how many words you can use. You have a choice. You can put in 1 word or 2 words. Sometimes the question will say 1, 2, or 3 words. Sometimes the question will say a number and 1 or 2 words. So read very carefully. If you write 3 words, no mark. So you never look at the text before you read these questions. What skills do you think you need? Let me tell you. I'm sure you've already started to write. The skills are predict, paraphrase, visualize. Exactly the same. So let's have a look at an example. Number 6, before you read anything. According to a recent study, well-lit streets do not or make neighborhoods safer to live in. Now, it might sound a little bit strange, but in your head or in a low voice, read this and say when you read it, because you're telling your brain that there is a word here. And what can you predict? Well, one thing that you can predict before you do anything else is the type of grammar that you have to have. What kind of word or words do you need in this sentence? What type of grammar words? A verb, a present simple verb, Very good. Because you have here, you have this auxiliary verb, do not. And after do not, you need to have, actually you need to have, what's the word? The main verb, yeah? The main form of the verb. Do not eat, do not talk, do not sleep. You need the main form of the verb. Or make neighborhoods safe to live in. Good. Second thing you can do before you predict anything else, before you change anything, is to see if you can actually predict a word. Here. Now, what kind of sentence is this? Is it a negative sentence or is it a positive sentence? Is the idea negative or positive? Not the grammar, but what is the meaning? Is the meaning in the sentence negative or positive? I'm trying to find it. I would say negative, because it says do not. Okay, do not. Then if you blah, 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 go to the next part, it says do not make neighborhoods safer to live in. So the second part of the question helps you understand what you're looking for. The second part says this well-lit streets do not make neighborhoods safer to live in. That's negative. That's not a good thing. So now you're looking for something negative in this idea. Any ideas what this might be? So predict a meaning, a word, an idea. Well-lit streets do not or make neighborhoods safer to live in. Come on, try. Any word. Okay. Let's not worry about that. Now, before we continue, the next thing we're going to do to find the paragraph that we need is what? What skill do we need now that we're going to read? What's the first skill? Think of Krisha, $650, three-room apartment. What's our skill? Sorry, I'm finding some nice words here. Sorry, inefficient lighting now, good. Do not attract people, good. Except do not attract people is too many words. Okay, so what skill do we need to do the next part? We need to scan, good. And we scan with the information that we have, not $650, not 3 rooms, not Astana, not Buy2Let, but maybe well-lit streets. Now, don't look for lighting, because every paragraph is about lighting. So look for something different. Neighborhoods is different. So look for something about where people live, houses, neighborhoods. So that's rephrasing. Yeah, you're looking for neighborhoods, but not neighborhood, the word, because it will be different in the paragraph. Maybe streets with people. A recent study could be the name of a journal, a magazine, a newspaper article, a recent study, a technical or scientific or academic article. So you're looking for an article, you're looking for something connected with streets or neighborhoods, and you're looking for, yeah. So that's what you do. So basically you start with maybe paragraph A, and you scan. Very quickly, you see, nothing in A. Nothing at all about streets or neighborhoods. Let's go to B. Nothing. And you do this so quickly that what happens is, in no time at all, sorry, predict. Let me just show you the skills. Predict and this, and then, sorry, there we go. Negative and positive. We've done all that, right? So let's move on. And you do all that, and you find that the paragraph you want is paragraph D. Okay? Because you read something about I can't get your chat box off, it's in the way. There we go. So sorry, my mistake, I'm looking at the wrong one. no, actually, I'm looking at the right one. So there you see in this paragraph, somebody from a non-profit organization wrote something in a magazine called International Dark Sky. So that is a recent study. Then you also saw that something about overbright security lights. Security lights you get in houses, and you see the word neighbors. So it's about a neighborhood. You saw criminal activity, and if you look back, neighborhoods safer to live in. Neighborhoods are not safe when you have crime. So these are the words that tell you that this paragraph is the paragraph that you want. Neighbor, crime, something about streets, security lights, an article from an academic magazine. That's the thing I would look for, the recent study. That's unusual. That's only in this paragraph. Now that you find this, what's the next skill that you need to find the one or two words you have? So you've scanned, you found your paragraph. What skill do you use now? What skill? Forget the answer. What's the skill you need? The skill is reading in detail. Yeah. Now you read very slowly. So you look for the part of the paragraph you want. And if you look here, it says making neighborhoods, the second part says making neighborhoods safer to live in. And it says that here that neighborhoods are not safe to live in because of criminal activity. So you read very slowly and you look for the verb that goes with well-lit streets. And it says that bright security lights, so you read from, it says bright security lights, synonym well street leads, can actually force neighbors to close the shutters. Could it be close the shutters? Do not close the shutters. No, that doesn't fit into the sentence. Keep reading. Which means that if any criminal activity, does that fit in? Do not criminal activity? No, the grammar doesn't fit. Does occur on the street, no one will see it. And the old assumption or the old idea that bright lights, well-lit streets. Well-lit streets is a synonym of bright lights. Bright lights do not deter crime. Let's put deter crime here in. Deter crime, that's a verb in the main form with a noun. Do not deter crime or make neighborhoods safe to live in. Yeah, that fits. Good. So you have your answer. Now, you can see my thought process, yeah? I'm reading slowly. Now that I have the answer, I can give myself 40, 50 seconds. I have the time. And sometimes I think I might have the answer. So I take the word or the phrase, I put it in, and the grammar doesn't fit, or the meaning doesn't fit. So I keep reading slowly. And then I got to bright lights, which was a synonym of well-lit streets. And then I got the same words, do not, and then deter crime. So again, there is different ways of doing this, but the main idea is scan for the paragraph, find what you need, then start slowly reading, matching words or ideas from your sentence, and then seeing if you can get the word that fits the context and fits the grammar in meaning and grammar. Let's have a look at 7 now. Inefficient lighting increases something because most electricity is produced from coal, gas, or oil. So what kind of grammar word would you need after inefficient lighting increases? What kind of grammar word would you need? Probably a noun, yeah? Maybe a gerund. Maybe a gerund and a noun, but definitely a noun, yeah? Because you have this increases, which is a verb. And if you change this phrase into a question, the question will be, what does inefficient lighting increase? That's another skill. You To rephrase a phrase, sorry, to rephrase something, turn it into a question. What does inefficient lighting increase? It increases something, a noun or a noun phrase. Now, just moving on quickly, what phrases here do you think will help you to scan? What are the unusual words that you'll probably only find in one paragraph? Coal, gas, oil, yeah. I think that's how, there are different, again, lighting is in every paragraph, forget it. Electricity, maybe, yeah. Inefficient lighting is okay, but it's too difficult. They look for the obvious one, coal, gas, oil. So what are synonyms of coal, gas, and oil? Coal, gas, and oil are not in the text, but the synonyms are fuel, good. What else? Elements, maybe. Energy, good. Criminal activity, no. Fuel, fossil fuels, renewables, natural resources, perfect, super. I will give you all 5,000 tenge just for those answers. Well done. So let's have a look. Can you see in the, so we scanned the text, we found the ideas that we wanted. And what was the idea that we wanted? What is the synonym for coal, gas, and oil? It is here, fossil fuels. If you don't know what fossil fuels is, look it up. Very important word. Coal, gas, oil, fossil fuels. Because they formed many millions of years ago under the ground from fossils. And with a lot of wetness in tropical areas. So these are all fossil fuels. What else might have helped us? Well, badly designed lighting is the same as inefficient lighting. And electricity. Well, I don't know, examples of electricity, broadcast towers, lighthouses. But anyway, badly designed lighting and fossil fuels. Now we read slowly, and we want to find what badly designed lighting, what inefficient lighting increases. And what does it increase? It increases light pollution. Now, again, many of you could get the answer very quickly, but for some of you, let's go through this slowly. Badly designed lighting can pose a threat to wildlife as well as people. This is just the general idea of the paragraph. Newly hatched turtles. Okay, let's imagine we wanted just to put a noun in there. Now, we can't put newly hatched turtles because we can only have 2 words. So first, the grammar doesn't fit. And if we put turtles in here, it doesn't fit either. So we keep reading. Move towards beach light, nothing here, yeah, we want nothing. And suddenly we get this idea of light pollution. And light pollution is negative. And we wanted something negative in this sentence because it's a result of inefficient lighting. Inefficient lighting increases light pollution. So the only way for some of you to do this is to stop once you have the paragraph, read slowly, maybe try 1 or 2 words, see if they fit. If they don't, keep reading. And if you read further, you can see the connection between light pollution and fossil fuels. Some of you will be able to do this task by skim reading. Most of us will do it slowly by reading in detail. Right, let's move on. That is a gap fill task. Now, just to save time, we won't do this answer. We'll just look at rephrasing. So for, if you were to look at, number 8, efficient lights might be an example of efficient lights. Going into areas where it's not needed. Actually, when you go to the paragraph, you see that you have this word unwanted areas. So it's almost the same as the question. You have low sodium lights. This is an example, not a synonym. It's an example of efficient lights. So you found your paragraph, you read slowly, and you actually find this is quite easy because you're looking for a verb. Efficient lights do something. Efficient lights is a noun. There's no verb in the sentence, so you need a verb. And the verb is block. Efficient lights block light from going into areas where it is not needed. And just to check your answer is correct, you say trespassing. Trespassing means to go to a place that you're not allowed to go in. For example, government property. It says do not trespass. If you go there, you are breaking the law. So that's predict. Let me go back again. Just sorry, I'm starting to move a little bit quickly because we need to move on. So here we go. Here is what you need to do for gap fill questions. First, stop, predict and rephrase the questions. Look for words you can use for scanning. See if the idea is negative or positive, and scan with your words that you chose. You know, like a type, for example, a recent study was a type of an academic journal. Neighborhood, streets with people, coal, gas, oil was fossil fuels. And then you scan. Once you scan, find what you want. You read slowly, slowly. You look for the grammar and the meaning that will fit in your sentence. And you make sure that it's a maximum of 2 words. Right, the next type of task we're going to look at today is the horrible one that all of us hate. I hate it too. True, false, not given questions. Now, why do we hate this? Everybody loves a true, false quiz, yeah? True or false? Paris is the capital of Spain. Ah, false. Paris is the capital of France. And Madrid is the capital of Spain. So everybody loves true, false. It's easy, yeah? You know the answer or you don't know the answer. But then the problem here is not the true or the false. The problem is not given. What on earth does not given mean? That's exactly what it means. It means the answer is not there. But to understand if the answer is there or not, or to understand if the answer is true or false, you need to do the same for gap fill. So to find the paragraph, you need to scan. And then you find the paragraph that you want. Then you decide, is there anything in this paragraph that shows that this statement is true, that agrees with the statement? Is there anything that shows this is false? Or is there nothing in this paragraph? But the first thing you need to do is find the paragraph, and that means scanning. And if you want to scan, you need to rephrase, first of all, and find the ideas, not just the words, but the ideas that you're looking for. So that means rephrasing, predicting, and visualizing. So let's have a look at number 10. Number 10 says, one group of scientists find their observations are made more difficult by bright lights. Now, before you do anything, before you can scan, you need to find words or ideas to scan for. So what words here can you rephrase in your own words in 10? What words can you rephrase? So yeah, so let's take the obvious one, the group of scientists. So the paragraph is not going to say a group of scientists. What will it say? Yeah, it might talk about people doing, what did you write here? Observational research. It might talk about specialists. It might even talk about a type of scientist. For example, what are types of experiment? What type of scientists do you know? You have physicists, chemists, biologists, astrologists, good. Though astrology is not science, I don't think. Astrology is superstition, survere. But you have astronomers. Astronomers look at the stars. Astrology looks at the stars and says you always stuff about the zodiac. So, yeah, good. And what else might you find? Well, I think scientists is the main thing, yeah? Because again, bright lights is too difficult because everything is about bright lights. So what we do is, now that we have this information, scientists, we scan the text, and we even know from our reading already which paragraph has this information in. So let's go to the right paragraph. Sorry, before we do that, so we rephrase the paragraph, we scan for the paragraph, and then we read in detail. So let's scan first. Imagine that we've scanned. Sorry, I'm having problems with my computer. There we go. We found the paragraph we want because it talks about astronomers, a cadre of astronomers. That a cadre means group. Astronomers is a type of scientists. So we have what we want. Now we read slowly to see if this paragraph agrees with that statement. That's yes or true. Disagrees, contradicts, that's no. Or if it just doesn't give the information. So what do you think is the answer? What's the answer? So most of you are saying yes. Why are you saying yes? The answer is yes. Why are you saying yes? Let's have a look. It says their observations are made more difficult. Aha! So, very interesting point. Listen very carefully. Good. They need darkness. It says that the paragraph says that they need a dark sky to work with. The paragraph doesn't say that their work is made more difficult by a light sky. It says they need a dark sky to work with. So the meaning is working with a dark sky is the opposite of bright lights making their work more difficult. So sometimes in IELTS, you'll find the opposite sentence in the paragraph to the sentence in the question will give you the answer. So more dark sky to work with is a synonym of too much bright life makes their observations difficult. So well spotted. So can you see the need to read slowly and think about the meaning and match the meaning with the meaning in number 10 and not match the words. We don't want words, we want meaning. Right, let's look at number 11. It is expensive to reduce light pollution. What is your scanning word here? Not light, because the whole paragraph is, the whole text is about light. What is your scanning word here? Reduce is a little bit difficult because it's just a small word, yeah, to make less. Imagine looking through the whole text to find make less. Expensive. So what are some synonyms for expensive? Expensive means money, money, money. Expensive means rich. Expensive means costly. Expensive means dollars, millions, billions. So we go to our text and we look for, sorry, I have to, there we go. We go to our text and we find $1 billion and $2 billion. We have the paragraph we want. Now we read slowly for the answer. And the answer is, I'll give you 25 seconds to do this. So we have every answer possible. We have yes, 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 no, 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 not given, not given, not given. Okay, the answer is no. So the sentence is it is expensive to reduce light pollution, but the information in the paragraph actually contradicts this, because the paragraph says wasted energy from inefficient lighting costs 1 billion or 2 billion a year. So bad lighting costs a lot of money. But San Diego put in good lighting, high efficiency lighting. And what happened when San Diego put in high efficiency lighting? They saved $3 million a year in energy costs. So by reducing light pollution, by putting in efficient lighting, the costs went down. So it's actually less expensive to reduce light pollution. So can you see, because exactly, it saves 3 billion. So that's the key phrase. Putting in good lighting saves money, saves $3 million, which means that it is less expensive to reduce light pollution. So can you see how sometimes you have a phrase in the paragraph which is the opposite of the phrase in the paragraph in the question that gives you the answer. So you need to put your head around the meaning and not look for words. So that's IELTS. It's looking for meaning, not looking for words. Scanning, using your rephrase words, and then reading for detail. Now, just a little hint here. Now, we're not going to do any more. Maybe later if we have time. We're running out of time now. But we did 10. We did 11. They were okay. They were not difficult, maybe. But 12, we're like, we find the paragraph that we think we want. We think we want it, but we can't find the answer. What do you do if you're having difficulty? You do this. For economizing time, can you read this? Can you see this? Answers to true, false, not given are in chronological order. It means that if the answer to question 11 is in paragraph 5, then the answer to paragraph 12 must be in paragraph 5 or 6 or 7, not in paragraph 4. If you can't find the answer to question 7, do question 8, and then you will find the answer to 7 is in a paragraph between the answer to 6 and 8. So this is something to remember. IELTS doesn't go from here to here to here to here. IELTS only goes forward. So all the questions on true, false, not given will be in chronological order. So if it's difficult, go to the next question, and then you can go back to the last paragraph and find the answer. So that's very useful, because the answer to 13 was quite easy to find, and the answer was yes or no. But the answer to 12 was not given. Now, to find an answer which is not given, you really have to read carefully to make sure there is no information there. There's no information that agrees with your sentence and no information that contradicts your sentence. There is just no information there at all. So that's why it's good to move on to the next question and then move back to the other question when you know where that difficult question is going to be. So that's true, false, not given. So today we've looked at skills for reading, which are skimming or reading gist, which we use in life, and scanning we use in life, and reading for detail we use in life. And then we looked at some other skills that we also use in IELTS, like predicting, visualizing, paraphrasing or rephrasing, not panicking. and time management. Knowing how much time you have, giving yourself 8 minutes to do these questions, no more, or maybe less, but not rushing. If you know you have 8 or 9 minutes for 5 questions, for example, you know that you can relax, look at the questions, rephrase, look for a keyword, visualize before you look at the text. So just calm, don't panic. So these are skills which we have for life and skills which we have for IELTS. And the 3 question types we looked at today were paragraph matching, gap fills, and true, false, not given. Tomorrow we'll look at some more. Before we do that, I should give you I was asked to give you a quick quiz. Yeah, so I hope that you're giving each other answers to these questions. It can be confusing, but to take out the confusion from IELTS is to put these principles in your head, these skills in your head, and think about real life. As I said, a person skims the newspaper quickly just to get some meaning, to know if this is interesting to read in more detail. A person scans when they already have some information they are looking for, like looking for an apartment. And a person reads in detail when they want to really understand something properly. So let's have a quick quiz, because we need to give you a quiz. I'm not sure how this is going to work. I hopefully you can write down the answers yourself somewhere or in a box. I'm not really sure how this works, but maybe this has been explained to you already in your last lesson. So here's the first question. You can give true or false, not given, or you can answer the question. Before we continue, just one thing about true, false, not given questions. Sometimes the paper says yes, no, not given. So then you have to write yes or no, not true or false. Okay? Sometimes it says agree, disagree, not given. So the answer should be agree, disagree, or not given. Okay. So first question is, where is my mother from? Okay. Where is my mother from? I told you today. Second question. I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and a brother. True, false, not given. Okay. My favorite city in the world is Almaty. True, false, not given. I really like rock climbing. What is the name of this constellation? So here we go, number 4. So number 4, what is the name of this constellation? Okay, let's move on. Right, I'll give you a couple of minutes for this, so you can write this down. Name as many skills as you can for IELTS reading. Right, I'll give you 2 minutes for this, yeah? Just 2 minutes. Write down as many skills as you can for IELTS reading. Okay. Name 3 different types of IELTS question. So easy. Three different types of IELTS question. The 3 that we, sorry, the 3 questions that we did today. 3 that we did today. So, if the answer to one question in a set of true, false, not given questions is in paragraph B, in paragraph B, the answer to the next question cannot be in paragraph A. It's easier. What are the names of these 2 types of newspaper? What's the name of this type of newspaper, this big paper? And what's the type of this gossipy paper? So it's not the name of the paper, but what's the name of the type of paper? What type of paper is this? And what type of paper is this? So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you the answers now. Okay? I see that you've been writing your answers. I'll give you another few seconds just for anybody to finish. I have no idea who is checking this. We have some special people who are supposed to be checking your answers. I don't know these people. I think they work for the KMB, maybe, or KGB, MI6. Very special people checking your answers. So, true, false, not given. All right, let's go back again, yeah? So, where is my mother from? My mother is from England. My dad is from Pakistan, okay? My mum is from England, from Britain. Britain, England, the same, okay? All correct, Britain or England. I have 2 sisters and a brother. True, false, not given. Not given. Not given. I didn't tell you anything about my brothers or sisters. Not given. My favorite city in the world is Almaty. I would say this is not given. I said I love Almaty, my favorite city in Central Asia, my favorite city in Kazakhstan, but I didn't say anything about the world. So the answer is not given. I really like rock climbing. Now, I can't remember what I said if I told you this. It's not yes. Yes is incorrect because I said I like trekking. I like hiking in the mountains. I like trail running in the mountains. But I don't think I said anything about rock climbing. So the answer is either no, false, or not given, okay? So if you wrote false or not given, that's okay. And this is called the Big Dipper. The Big Dipper, this constellation. Name as many skills as you can for IELTS reading. Okay, well, there is the 3 main ones, which are general reading skills. scanning or reading for gist, skimming or reading for gist, scanning and reading for detail. Then we had predicting, we had rephrasing or paraphrasing, we had not panicking, we had time management, and what else do we have? Something else, yeah? I can't remember. What else do we have? Time management, predicting, visualization. Good, thank you. Of course, there are other skills, but I just described these ones to you today. Yeah? Name 3 different types of IELTS. Questionable from today, they were paragraph matching task, true, false, not given, and the other one, gap fill. Give the answer on one question. The answer is true. The answer cannot be in A because true, false, not given questions are always chronological. So the answer must be in B or C or D, but not in A. What are the names of these 2 types of newspapers? This is a heavy. Actually, I didn't view all the names. It can be a heavy, or it can also be a, one second, broadsheet. Okay, or a serious newspaper. These are different names, yeah? A heavy, a broadsheet, or a serious newspaper. And this newspaper is exactly, well done. This is a tabloid. You say, I think in Russian, you say yellow newspaper, yeah? In Russian, yellow. We say B. And in the past, when there was no internet, no online newspapers, the heavy newspapers were heavy because they were big, like this. You sit on the bus, the train, like that, you know. And the tabloids were usually smaller, like that. They're easier to read. Sorry, not the best way to yeah, bitterlich, sorry about that. Not the best way to find a winner. So maybe all of you will get 5,000 tenge, okay? Everybody will get 5,000 tenge, or nobody will get 5,000 tenge. Okay, but anyway, I promise you, I will give any of you, a box of chocolates tomorrow. Okay? I will give you a box of chocolates tomorrow if you come to Tashkent. Right. I wanted to send you some homework, but I have no idea how to do it. No idea. Where can I attach files here? I'm not sure if I can. Can I attach a file? Anybody know?
No, we cannot. I mean, you should send it to me. I will resend it to our WhatsApp chat.
Okay, so I'll try and give you just a small, very small homework for tonight, for practice, and they will be sent to you in WhatsApp or WeChat or something like this. Okay, everybody, nice to have you here. I loved your chat box, very active. Sorry I couldn't see you. A Kaspi card? No. The box of chocolates doesn't go to Kaspi card. It only goes to people who come here to Tashkent. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice evening. A nice night, yeah, in beautiful Almaty and not bad Astana, and fantastic Karakanda and super Yishkazgan and beautiful, wonderful by the sea, Aktau and all those other beautiful places. And see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Ciao. Bye bye.